When it comes to stopping drinking alcohol, there are red flags that you must not ignore. And I'm not here to point my finger and say that you're a bad person or do anything weird. I've been in your shoes. I drank alcohol for the best part of 10 years, and I haven't touched a drop for the past 7 years. But these 5 red flags are things that you cannot ignore, please. So just watch this entire video. It could be the thing that saves your life. And just so you know, I'm not here to knock you down in any way. I have experienced all of these things in my own life when I drank. I've been in your shoes. So, the first flag, and this was the cycle I spent the best part of 10 years in. See, the first flag goes like this. Maybe one day you wake up and something bad has happened as a result of your drinking. I don't know, maybe it could be a really bad hangover. Maybe you said something to the wrong person. Maybe your wife's had enough of you. Maybe your husband's had enough of you. Maybe you're looking in the mirror, you're thinking, where did all this come from? Like, what's happening? Maybe you just feel terrible. Maybe it's worse. Maybe it's a major health scare. And what ends up happening is we get these negatives that start showing up in our life. This happens to every drinker, by the way. Just some people don't make the relation to alcohol and these things. But then you do something. You tell yourself, all right, do you know what? I'm not going to drink. This is just ridiculous. I'm drinking far too much. I'm going to stop. Or maybe you say I'm going to cut down, right? That's another big one. I'm going to reduce my drinking. I'm going to slow things down. And maybe you actually get a bit of success with this, right? You do stop. You do cut down. I have done this myself so many times. I've stopped drinking with just pure willpower for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. But then this little thought comes back in out of nowhere. And before you know it, I'm getting this idea of having just one drink, and then 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, and then within a few weeks, I'm back drinking. Things are exactly like they were before. Sometimes I'm even drinking more than I did before, but I've just done this so many times. And if you're doing this, and if you're on this roller coaster, it's a sign. It's a sign that you need to do something different. Now, we'll unpack the other 4 signs in a second, but if you do want to do something different, if you click the link in the description, I've got a free video training that shows you how I used a new method to control alcohol in under 24 hours. And I did it without AA, without giving up my social life. I don't even get cravings. And this has all been verified in this scientific report. My company recently commissioned an academic psychologist to go and basically comb through our method, go and look at all the scientific literature. This is a guy with published addiction research, formerly affiliated with the University of Oxford. And in the free video training, I actually show you how our method works. Because it hasn't just worked for me, it's worked for hundreds of others. So if you want to learn how I and thousands of other people have used this totally new method to stop drinking alcohol that has got scientific validation and is in alignment with all the latest addiction research, just go ahead and click the link down below. You'll also get access to the report and a bunch of other things. It'll blow you away, but it isn't going to be about calling you an alcoholic or anything like that. But let's get into that second red flag. So another major red flag is the drinking is increasing, right? So let's say we're at a point right now where it's slowly been going up in time. And maybe up until now, it's not been that bad. You know, maybe it's kind of been okay. You've been managing, you've been, you know, that term that I hate, the functioning alcoholic, right? A lot of people call themselves this functioning alcoholic. And they say to themselves, you know, business is okay, the career's okay, you know, my wife, my husband, yeah, they're not so happy, but, you know, I'm functioning. But the second red flag is when shifts start happening in your health. And this can happen both physically and mentally. So for me, what happened is physically, I put on weight, right? I started looking terrible. I started feeling truly lethargic. Physically, I had some health scares. You know, I went out on an empty stomach one night. I had drank, I don't know how many drinks, like 10, 15 drinks, totally blacked out. Another major health scare, blackouts. And then I woke up the next morning having thrown up blood on a computer and destroyed this computer. Right? For me, I mean, listen, this is what I'm talking about. And it might not be that bad for you, right? You might not have had that major health scare. Do you need to wait for it to get that bad? Do you need the call from the doctor saying, sorry, but cirrhosis of the liver? Do you need to wait till then? I don't think so. But you might be noticing smaller signs. Energy, right? Sleep suffering. But then also you might be noticing changes in your mental health. You just might not be feeling the same. You might be feeling more anxious, right? What about that anxiety? That was a big thing for me. Whenever I drank the day after, the anxiety would kill me. I would be crippled by it. Maybe you're just feeling down and slightly depressed. But if these things are starting to happen, it's just another sign. And it's okay. I've been there. But don't ignore it. Don't just brush it off like it's a natural part of life. If you're drinking alcohol, it's probably to blame. Not definitely, right? I can't say that for sure. This is not medical advice, but there's a pretty good chance that alcohol is to blame for a lot of these health problems. For me, it was obvious. There was no question about it. Now, number 3. So again, this was massive in my own life. So I really just want to empathize with you. I really don't want this video to come across as condescending in any way. I really just want to kind of almost be like your friend and have a conversation with you that most people around you probably aren't willing to have with you. That's the whole point of this video. But if you're in a place right now where you are drinking, but the people in your life who are important to you are starting to notice, then it's a sign, right? If your family are getting upset, your kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your friends, if the people you love are really showing concern and the relationships are almost starting to strain in a way, then this is a red flag. Now, the thing is I don't know where you're at exactly right now. I've worked with people in my coaching program, Sober Clear. I've worked with people where the relationship with their partner was on the rocks and they managed to turn it around. But I've also worked with people who certain relationships have gone so far beyond repair because of drinking alcohol that there was nothing they could do. And the only thing you can do for yourself is, if relationships are straining, is whatever you do, don't go apologizing. Don't go begging for forgiveness. Don't tell them you're going to change and fix everything. The only thing you can do is lead through action. Because if you're anything like me, I have made a promise to stop drinking alcohol to my friends and family countless times, and they don't want to hear it. They want to see the change. So if your relationships are straining, stop talking to them about it and do something about it. I don't know what you need to do. I don't know what the exact route for you is, but do something. Get rid of alcohol, change the way that you view it, remove it from your life, and show them that you've changed. See, if you ever go to Alcoholics Anonymous, they'll always talk about making amendments to people. You've got to do this massive inventory and then go and write letters to people, pay people money back. You've got to go and do all of this stuff. But what I think is much better is you just stop drinking, right? That's all they want to see. And then rather than going and apologizing and doing that stuff, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what they want to see is the relationships that are straining is they want to see you become the person that you are supposed to be. Not the one that's drinking, not the one that's doing whatever they're doing right now. They want to see you become the leader, become the role model. That's what they want. So the fourth red flag, and the fourth thing I wanted to unpack, is that I don't know where you're at in life right now. You could be successful. You could have money, you could have a career, maybe not, but you could be in a place right now, you're doing okay. Like I said, that functioning alcoholic. By the way, I don't buy into this term alcoholic at all. I've got a million other videos where I talk about this, but people use this term a lot. That's why I'm going like this. But if you are drinking, and if you really get honest with yourself and just analyze the situation and look at your life, if you know deep down that you're not living up to your true potential, it is a flag. And for me, this was the biggest flag of all. I've told this story many times, but my biggest fear is getting to my deathbed, and it's being there and being alone. It's reflecting on my life and thinking, I wasted it. What a waste of a life. All that potential is gone. I mean, there's this famous quote by Les Brown. He says that the richest place in the world is the graveyard.
The wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. It's that the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. There you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find people allow themselves to be imprisoned by fear and living a small life. Maybe that's why one woman asked in a moment of anguish, what if you live your whole life only to discover it was wrong? Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Let us say together, live full, die empty.
But if you feel like you're not living up to your potential, here's a question to ask yourself. If you got bad news tomorrow and you had 6 months left to live, would you be happy with the progress that you've made? Maybe you would be. I don't know. I can't answer that for you. But I know that when I was drinking alcohol, if I got asked that question, it would have sent shivers down my spine. And it still does to this day because there's still so much I want to do. But when I was drinking alcohol, there was no way I'd ever live up to my potential. Now, the fifth and final flag, and this is totally okay if you feel this way, but the fifth and final flag is that the thought of stopping drinking fills you with fear. You're afraid of how you're going to deal with your relationships. You're afraid of how you're going to deal with stress, how you're going to deal with certain situations. If you're feeling that way, that is totally normal. And if you're not sure what to do, all I'd urge you to do, again, is click the link in the description. You've got to learn about how I've used this new method and how I've shown it to thousands of people already. Go and check out the scientific report because this is all about reframing the way that you view alcohol. It's about providing you with a system. There's nothing for sale on the video, so just go and click the link down below. You've got to watch that video next. Let's get this problem solved. I'll speak with you soon.